just when I thought the rift between my brother, who had run away from home as a delinquent, and me and my parents was starting to heal after he returned with his wife. He made a remark that tore apart the bond we had finally formed.
I've always thought Mom and Dad were obsessed with money. And I found you annoying for pretending to be a model student, Kiki. I'll never talk to you again.
With that, he left home once again. We were left in shock, not yet knowing the secret my brother was hiding. My name is Kiki. I'm 30 years old, single, and living with my parents. Our family is quite wealthy, but I live an economically independent life without relying on my parents. I have an older brother, George, who is 2 years older than me. However, George and I have never gotten along since we were kids. The reason for our sibling discord lies with our parents. I must admit, I was good at both academics and sports. I had many friends and a bright personality, never causing trouble for my parents. In contrast, George was good at sports but not so much at studies. He often hung out with bad friends, causing our parents a lot of trouble. As a result, our parents started comparing us more often, and George would take out his frustration on me each time. He hit me and broke my valuable belongings. I have many unpleasant memories of things my brother did to me. Eventually, George's behavior got worse, and he started getting into trouble with the police. Even my friends distanced themselves from me because of my delinquent brother. Naturally, I couldn't bring myself to like my brother. I've hated him since childhood. After multiple encounters with the police, our parents disowned him, and he left home. Over a decade has passed since then. I often wondered how he was doing, hoping he wasn't getting into trouble. My routine changed when he suddenly returned home with a woman. It happened out of the blue. One weekend, the intercom rang, and I answered the door to find George standing there with a beautiful woman. Oh, George.
Kiki, I'm back. Are Mom and Dad here?
Speaking in a much calmer tone than I remembered, I replied, They are. When I told our parents that George was back, Dad said,
Come in for now.
Allowing George to cross our threshold after a long time.
I apologize for all the trouble I caused. I must have been a burden to Mom, Dad, and you, Kiki. I am truly sorry.
Our parents, who had been worn out by George's actions, glanced at each other and nodded with a gentle expression.
We regret comparing you and Kiki. We're sorry for that.
I know you had a hard time too, George. We should have been more considerate. I'm sorry. Hearing our parents apologize, George's tense expression softened into one of relief. If Mom and Dad forgive you, I have no reason not to.
Thank you.
He then introduced the woman sitting quietly beside him.
This is my wife, Sadie.
Nice to meet you. I'm Sadie. I look forward to getting along with you. Sadie's elegant bow surprised us. Brother, you got married.
Yes, recently. I'm working a proper job now as an employee at an auto repair shop.
Assuming Sadie was just his girlfriend, I was surprised to learn they were married. But knowing that my troublesome brother had settled down, started a family, and was working properly brought more relief than anything. Our parents seemed to feel the same, and Mom said,
George, you've really grown up.
Dad nodded with a smile. Seeing our parents, George seemed determined.
I wanted to apologize and also discuss something. Sadie and I talked, and we want to live with you to take care of you in your old age. We came to ask for your permission to do that. As a way to make up for the past, please let us.
Our parents, surprised, discussed briefly before accepting George's proposal with smiles.
We'd be happy if you feel that way, George.
Come visit anytime from now on. Our parents' words made George smile, and our reunion ended peacefully. After that, Mom brought out tea and snacks, and we all enjoyed tea together before parting ways. Sadie, with her warm personality, quickly became close to me, and soon we were shopping together on weekends. It's like having a real sister, Sadie said joyfully. Having lost her parents at a young age, Sadie was alone in the world. So I, though her sister-in-law, treated her like my real sister. Even though I forgave my brother, the long-standing rift between us didn't disappear overnight. For a while, our conversations were awkward, but with Sadie's bright and kind nature, we slowly began to talk more calmly. It felt like the tension between us was easing, but 6 months later, George suddenly said something that changed everything.
Forget about living together. I won't take care of you in your old age.
One evening after work, George came alone and said this, leaving us confused. Our relationship with him had been improving. We couldn't understand why he suddenly wanted to undo that. What happened, George? Is something wrong? She asked gently, trying to calm him, but George stood up and shouted.
Don't push the care of old people onto me. I've always thought you were obsessed with money. All you care about is making money. Use your money to take care of yourselves.
Our parents were shocked into silence by his outburst. Unable to stay silent, I said, Brother, what's wrong? There's no need to say such horrible things. At that, George glared at me.
Shut up. You're always acting like a model student. I'm never talking to you again,
he declared, and stormed out of the house. We were bewildered by his sudden guilty. Wondering what had happened to him, we asked Sadie, but she only shook her head, equally puzzled. We never found out the reason for George's sudden change of heart. However, since we had grown close to Sadie, we often had tea and meals with her, without George knowing. Dad even said,
I'd rather cut ties with George and adopt Sadie.
Then came the shocking news. George had passed away due to an illness. Sadie informed us that he had been feeling unwell for a month, and a hospital visit revealed advanced stomach cancer. By the time it was discovered, it was too late for treatment. Our parents questioned why Sadie hadn't told us for a month. Sadie tearfully explained, George didn't want to burden the family. I'm really sorry for keeping it a secret. Her tears made it impossible to pursue the matter further. Following local customs, the wake and funeral were held at our home. When the monk arrived to chant the sutras, he glanced around the house. He looked startled when his gaze fixed on a certain spot, but then began chanting as if nothing had happened. After the chanting, Sadie took over greeting the guests, as our parents were too grief-stricken. When I was still sitting in shock after my brother suddenly disappeared, a monk approached and began speaking softly to me and my parents.
This might be hard to believe, but I can hear the voice of the deceased. I can hear your brother's voice.
Huh? My parents and I were stunned by the monk's unexpected statement. Of course, neither my parents nor I could hear my deceased brother's voice. However, the monk pointed to the living room chair my brother used to love and said,
"He is still sitting in that chair, watching over the family."
Though skeptical, we decided to listen to what the monk had to say. According to the monk, my brother was asking us to check his closet. After the monk left and Sadie had also withdrawn, my parents and I searched the closet in my brother's room, which had been left untouched since he went away. Among the old items, we found a relatively new cardboard box. Inside was a notebook that seemed to have been used until recently. The contents of the notebook, which was a diary written up to a month ago, shocked both my parents and me. It revealed that Sadie was having an affair with a young guy and had accumulated a large amount of debt to support him. As we struggled to believe what we were reading, some papers fell from between the pages of the notebook. They were copies of Sadie's bank account records and debt collection notices. According to the diary, my brother had been aware of something wrong with his body even before he collapsed and was hospitalized a month ago. I was startled as I read those words. Wasn't it about a month ago when my brother said he didn't want to move in together anymore? Maybe one of the reasons he came to the house was to hide this box in the closet? My parents seemed to realize this too. My brother had noticed Sadie's betrayal. However, he had hidden it from us until his death to avoid causing us to worry or trouble due to his illness. We have evidence of Sadie's debts, but not of the affair. This might not be strong enough to confront Sadie. How about we investigate further without letting her know for a while? I felt anger towards Sadie, but the confusion was still stronger. My parents seemed to feel the same and agreed with my suggestion. We wanted to be certain that Sadie had betrayed us. After my brother's funeral and things had settled down, I hired a private investigator to look into Sadie. The evidence of Sadie's affair and debts surfaced quickly. Photos of her entering and leaving hotels with the guy, and the discovery that she was blacklisted by several financial institutions due to her debts, came to light. Sadie, who had been turned away by legitimate financial institutions, had eventually started borrowing from illegal lenders. Moreover, I received a recording of Sadie making a phone call while I had left our table during a tea outing. My sister-in-law and in-laws haven't noticed anything. It's so helpful that they're so oblivious. That family is rich, so once I control them, it's all mine. Hearing this shocked me. According to the investigator, the person on the other end was likely the guy. Sadie's intentions were now clear. From the beginning, she had aimed to ingratiate herself with us to eventually seize our assets by gaining mental control over us. My brother's diary revealed that he had realized Sadie's true nature after marrying her. But by then, Sadie had already ingratiated herself with my parents and me, and my brother felt that his words would carry little weight. To protect us from Sadie, he had deliberately acted in ways that made us dislike him. My brother had planned to divorce Sadie, but he collapsed and was hospitalized before he could follow through. Even during his hospitalization, Sadie kept the affair and debts hidden from us to prevent her plan from being discovered. Neither my parents nor I could forgive Sadie. We copied the diary and related documents left by my brother and called Sadie to the house. Thinking she was invited as usual, Sadie entered our house with a smile. "Hello." But when she noticed our glares, she hesitated. "What's going on?" My father told her to sit down, and Sadie complied. I spread out the copy documents on the table. "What is the meaning of this? It seems you were having an affair with a guy while my brother was alive. And you were secretly borrowing money from suspicious sources. Did you approach my brother just to get our money? Is that right?" Sadie looked down as I pointed to each piece of evidence and questioned her. I expected her to either show remorse or make excuses, but instead, she burst into unexpected laughter. Ha ha ha. So I've been found out. What a nuisance that George left such a diary. This ruins my plans. Who would take care of old people like you if not for money? Seeing Sadie's true nature for the first time, my parents and I were speechless. Sadie continued with a vile smile. I haven't committed any crimes. George is gone, and you can't claim any compensation. I couldn't take money from your family, but I'm still young. I'll find another rich old man and get the money from him. So, I have no use for you anymore. Goodbye forever. After saying all she wanted, Sadie stood up and tried to leave. But we had prepared for this. I followed Sadie to the door. Wait. But Sadie didn't stop. She put on her shoes and opened the door, only to freeze. Several tough-looking debt collectors were waiting outside. What is this? Why are they here? I explained. I contacted all the lenders mentioned in the notices and told them you would be here. They were very grateful for the information. Sadie glared at me. This is your doing. One of the collectors spoke up.
Hey, stop talking and pay up. Otherwise, we'll have to take you with us.
Sadie trembled. Wait. Let me call my boyfriend for money. She shakily took out her phone and called the guy.
Yes, what is it?
Please help me. Debt collectors are here, and they'll take me away if I can't pay. Can you lend me some money? The guy sighed.
Why should I lend you money? Sleeping with you was just part of my job. If you have no money, our relationship is over. What happens to you is none of my concern. Goodbye.
Wait. Do you know how much I've given you? Please, don't hang up. Sadie, almost in tears, continued yelling into her phone for a while. Eventually, one of the impatient debt collectors spoke up.
Looks like your boyfriend has ditched you too. You'll have to earn the money yourself. Come with us.
No. Help me. You said I was like a real sister to you. You talked about adopting me. Please, help me. As Sadie was being dragged away by one of the debt collectors, she pleaded for our help, but there was no way we would help her. After mocking my brother, how can you even say that? Go to the depths of hell, I said. Hearing my cold words, Sadie's eyes widened in despair, and she hung her head as she was taken away by the collectors. One of the debt collectors smiled at us as they left.
Thank you for your cooperation. If you ever need help, feel free to contact us.
That was the most terrifying part. What happened to Sadie after that, neither my parents nor I know. But it's certain that she's not living a happy life. I decided to reread my brother's entire diary. Alongside many apologies to me, there were these words.
I might have been a burden to Kiki, but Kiki was a source of pride for me. I pray for Kiki's happiness in the future.
These words must have been my brother's true feelings, hidden beneath his unsentimental exterior. I wiped my tears and read those words over and over again. Later, I married a man I met at work and moved away from home. Just as my brother had hoped, I am very happy now. Even now, on my brother's monthly Memorial Day, I always visit his grave with my parents. we talked to his grave, trying to make up for the time we couldn't spend together while he was alive. I sincerely hope that my brother will be reborn and find happiness in his next life. How did you like this story? Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.